Welcome to Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. Let's jump into these charts. First thing we'll start with is the 24-hour day Bitcoin chart, up for the day 5.46% at the time I'm recording this, subject to change as the day moves along. Now we look at the weekly chart. We can see where things had peaked most recently back on the week beginning the 10th of April. Sliding sideways, tending down until this week, and starting to really jam up. Actually started moving up Friday. Markets, of course, as far as the ETF market, was closed, but the 24-hour-a-day Bitcoin chart continued to plug along, and we can see the two-day chart on Sunday, and then on Tuesday, Wednesday, just that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just continuing to jam up. And again, we look at that was the two-day chart. Yes, we look at the half-day chart. And again, we can see where it started slamming up on Tuesday and just continued to move on up through Wednesday. So Bitcoin turning around. And as far as the high goes, we see a high of $30,755, that prior high $31,035. So sprinting up toward that. So we will be keeping a close eye on Bitcoin. Likewise, Ethereum, it is up 4.78%. Not as quickly rising as Bitcoin. We got a green spinning top for the week, but we can see over the last two-day candles, spinning top and then high volume, things moving up. We can see on the half-day chart where on Tuesday things started to spin up rather rapidly. We look at the Bitwise top 10 cryptocurrency fund. That's the top 10 cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin being the biggest of those and the biggest driver, spinning top similar to Ethereum, pushing up. We can see through on the two-day chart through that weekly trend line. And again, starting on Friday, that's where things really started to build there on that half-day chart, continuing to spike up. So again, we can see some changes in the cryptocurrencies after a lackadaisical attitude starting sometime there in late April, sort of spinning down. We see things catching a bit of fire. Let's move on to commodities. We'll first go to corn that we've been tracking for a while. We noticed corn bottom out there, actually bottomed out the week beginning the 15th of May, then a spinning top, then the first green candle, and it has just been climbing super high so far this week. We can see from 24.12 up to 27.21, up for the day alone, 4.74%. Copper, not up much for the day, but we can see it growing over the last 3 weeks. Soybeans, last week, after again bottoming with higher than average volume back on the week beginning the 30th of May, then a spinning top that week beginning the 5th of June, and then last week starting to really press up, week beginning the 12th of June, and this week the 20th of June. Remember, we're closed Monday in the States for the Juneteenth holiday, and things popping up strong. Silver, bit of a reversal here. We saw silver going down, then some green candles for 2 weeks, but this week rolling back over, shoving below on that two-day chart starting on Friday, below the weekly trend line. Wasn't much of a trend line. I mean, it was not quite flat, but not much more than that, moving back over and down through it. Those are sort of the only commodities we see that there's some stuff going on with. And lastly, we will go to currencies. What do we see going on there? Well, we'll start with last week. We told you how we saw things turning around with the euro. And of course, this week it continues as the euro, continues to move up for the day, 0.75%. We go to the British pound. We saw it slipping sideways starting on the 30th of May, then that week beginning the 5th of June. Then we saw things go from a spinning top to an up candle, and this week a green candle too, but not yet reaching the high of last week, up just a little bit for the day. We go to the Canadian dollar, and again, in the third week of some up movement there. Australian dollar, we can see where things really bumped up last week and got a green candle this week, but we don't see it getting anywhere near that prior high yet. Japanese yen just continuing to move down. It has been going down for a while, continues in the downstroke after we saw the yen most recently peak back on the week beginning the 20th of March, slipping sideways for a couple of weeks, and then heading down with the first red down candle the 10th of April, and it's been red down candles ever since then. We look at the Swiss franc, and we can see where over the last 2 weeks, it has been moving up, not really looking to do a whole lot with that. At this point, sort of moved up for several weeks, then down, and over the last 2 weeks, starting to head up again, but hasn't even reached the high of last week yet. That is where we are as far as currencies go. We've given you a quick review of cryptocurrencies, commodities, and currencies. We hope that you find this helpful. You always want to look for charts that are chartable, and we have many of them in these areas that are. That's the key, is sticking with it, finding charts that you can read, ones that move in discernible patterns where you can continually find trades that work. That is where we are. We always love to hear from you. Don't hesitate to reach out to us, cw@chartingwealth.com. God bless, my friends.